it. Stand up and give it up for Carlos King.
Let's have a real conversation.
We both from the hood.
What is this, child?
You guys are not going to be disappointed. It is definitely a treat.
But you know, this is the place.
This is reality with the king. You can say what you want, baby. Oh, you're talking to your friend today.
For sure.
So that's why we're both casual.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure. Because we get into a real we're kind of far. It's like,
excuse
don't worry
me.
about it.
I miss you so much.
I miss you too, Carlos King.
TIKA Sumpter.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here.
You're on Reality with the King.
Honey, because I be seeing your shows and I be like, ooh, it's so good.
I know. One day you text me, you said, I'm watching this person's interview and I'm getting my life. I got my glass of wine. Remember that one?
I think I was in the bath. Like I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love your show. I love everything you do. You've done. You're the king, seriously. And you can spot talent.
It's you.
But I'm so glad I'm on your couch and I'm here and I'm talking to you about all the things.
No, so listen. So I want the world to know that, well, first of all, give a warm welcome, Raindrops. She is my friend in real life. We've been friends for over 10 years.
Yes.
I don't talk about her as much because she's very private like me, but I'm also very protective of her. But she has decided to come on the couch to support her friend as I support her new children's book.
Yes.
That we're going to get into as well.
Yeah.
But give it up for the beautiful, the talented actor, producer, mommy, wife, director, TIKA Sumpter.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Seriously.
Are you?
Friend, where have you been? Nobody knows me. Yes. Yes. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. Listen, I don't talk about our friendship ever.
No.
Because it's funny, we have been friends for over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
And
a decade.
It just feels like yesterday.
It does. It feels like, it doesn't even feel like this is an interview to be. It feels actually, it feels odd that these are here because I'm like, as soon as you came in, we were just like hugging for 10 minutes. I was like, you good? You good?
You good?
What's up? Let's go.
I know.
And then he gives that look like.
Yeah, well, I have updates to share with you.
Okay, I need updates. Tell me all the things.
Well, no, you're not interviewing me, honey. I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
You know, I started out as a host. That's how I started my career. Well, it was the beginnings of my career. And I used to actually for the Noggin and like MTV, Nickelodeon, like I actually did this whole pilot for like a daily news show. And then I did Best Friend's Date, which I was a host of. And then I started in hosting, honey.
So, I mean, you do have 3 podcasts.
Well, now I only have one, which is Adventures of Curiosity Cove, which is a children's one. I had the Sugar, that is no longer.
Okay.
And rest in peace, Sugar. But mommy had to move on.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so I have Adventures of Curiosity Cove right now, and yeah, that's what I have.
No, I mean you do everything because listen, our friendship is so precious to me. Because it's genuine.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with us being in the business. We don't even talk
about it.
I was about to say, we never talk about the business.
Ever. First of all, we have way too much business in our own business. We need to mind our own business, okay? We need to my mind is my business is my mind, and I'm minding it. Yes, that's us. Because we be like, yo, what's going on? And first of all, I'm acting like I'm on a show. Sometimes I'd be like, well, if I was on that show, I'd be like, first of all. No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay.
No, because in real life, you are very much first of all.
Wait, no, Also,
we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
When I met you for the first time and you read me. Go ahead.
Oh, did I? I don't
Ooh.
remember.
You did. You got me together.
Oh, I did.
Oh yeah.
See,
and that's what I said. We're gonna be best friends. And 10 years later, look at this.
Look at no, but I feel like we don't talk about the business. We talk about our real lives.
Yeah.
The business is our part of our lives, but it's not all of us.
No.
And I like that.
No.
I like that about us.
No, I love that about us because again, so when I first met you, it was over 10 years ago. Our mutual friend who is like, he's like the godfather
Right.
of your world.
Right.
Tyler Perry.
Yes.
He was doing behind the scenes show when he brought the Have and the Have Nots and the comedy sitcom show.
Oh yes.
I'm having a brain fart.
Because he's had
so many.
Yeah.
Mr. Perry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I have yet to be permitted to call him Tyler.
Oh.
Because no. So this is a funny story. So I am such a Midwestern boy that anybody I respect, it has nothing to do with age. It's just respect.
Mr. Perry,
like,
Mr.
I don't call Miss Winfrey Oprah.
Right.
Every time I see her, it's hi, Miss Winfrey. So with Mr. Perry, I was told you have to refer to them as Mr. or Miss or Mrs. until they tell you to stop. So Mr. Perry has not told me to stop calling him. So I have to call him Mr. Perry until he says, Carlo, you can call me Tyler.
Or TP, which nobody gets to. I only call him TP. Like most people don't call him TP, so don't call him TP.
No, but he's like the godfather of your world. He's my mentor who has given me so much great advice.
Yes.
So he was doing this behind the scenes special chronicling his him going to OWN.
Yes.
To do the shows, and the Have and the Have Nots was on it.
Yeah.
So my job as the showrunner was to follow this mogul and everything surrounding him, and that included you and the rest of the cast.
I'm scared what you're gonna say.
No, so here I am, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the best job in the world because 2-3 years before that, I had to follow Miss Winfrey.
Oh, that's right.
And then the EP at the time of the OWN network said, only Carlos can do this job because he was able to do it so well with Miss Winfrey that, with the stature of Mr. Perry.
And you just know how he runs.
And I'm very respectful of people who I admire.
Yes.
So long story short, it was the best job in the world, and I got a chance to meet you, this talented actress that I was always obsessed with since Gossip Girl and One Life to Live. And I was like, she's gorgeous in person. She's so beautiful. And one thing about TIKA Sumpter, you work. You don't play when it comes to your craft. And one day, this is a funny story. You have no idea what I'm about to say.
I don't. I'm like, this is the roller coaster that's like, and I'm like, I'm holding on.
Hold
like,
on, girl.
I'm like, I don't know what faces you got. I'm like, okay, Carlos.
What I said to myself. I love her more, and she and I will be best friends. So long story short, you guys were on a lunch break.
Mm-hmm.
And when y'all are filming the Have to Have Nots at the time, like Mr. Perry does all his shows, you guys, honey, it's work.
It's work.
Work.
Yeah.
You guys had like maybe a 30-minute lunch break.
Yes.
And my job during our lunch break was just to interview you guys to ask about the show.
During the lunch break?
Yeah. Your mom was there. I was interviewing TIKA Sumpter in the hallway.
Oh God, it's coming. The pop came.
And apparently TIKA Sumpter, the professional, was maybe 60 seconds late to the set.
Yeah.
And baby, you came to me and said, I like you. Don't you ever make me late. And I said, yes, ma'am, it won't happen again.
I said that?
Yes, I loved you ever since. You were like, honey, I like you, but I'm never late. When my call time is my call time, honey, I am there early.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm there on time, which is 5 minutes early.
Right.
And that's what I knew. I said, that's the reason why you're so successful, because you take your job very seriously. And that's when I said, I respect it. That's who I am. That's who she is. And you and I are going to be fine. But I also knew, don't play with her and her motherfucking check.
Because Tyler will be like, where you been?
Yeah.
I was doing the interview that you guys wanted me to do. And
That's exactly what happened.
yeah.
You said Carlos wasn't up like this.
Yeah. Carlos said, look, Snitches get, what is it?
Baby.
Stitches, I was like, Carlos.
You did. You said Carlos up like this. Here I go. Now why am I in it? Mr. Perry, I'm so sorry.
I love it.
But that's what I knew. You and I would be besties, and we have been. And look, your success makes me proud because I know how much of a hard worker you are.
Yeah.
But outside of all of that, I do want people to know, my friend, you are such a good woman. You are a girl's girl, but you're also like a real friend.
Yeah.
But you're also funny as shit.
Thank you.
So talk to us because you're from Harlem.
Well, no, I was born in Queens. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
I lived
sis.
in Harlem for
Yeah.
a long time. I was born in Queens, raised in Long Island, and then moved to Manhattan. And I've lived all over Manhattan, but Harlem actually was the place that I lived probably the longest and by myself.
So did you always know, like, as a little brown girl that you wanted to be an actress?
I did. It's weird. Growing up in Queens, you don't know anybody other than like my sisters used to dance in videos, but like when they like danced, like they were part of like the dance group and stuff. And I remember like stealing pictures from them of like them and Kid and Play and like I don't know if I'm telling all your business, but it doesn't matter. But like, and I remember being like, oh, Run DMC doesn't live far from us, and LL Cool J and his grandmother lived down there, and so you're. I didn't think of it like that. Like, I didn't think of like, oh, anything's possible because they were musicians and rappers and all that stuff. But like, you're also your young self. My young self didn't think like that. I just remember watching The Cosby Show being like, I want to be in there. I want to do that. I want to be Rudy. I want to sing down the stairs, you know. I want to be part of that world. And then like watching a different world. And that's like the last thought I remember. And then it was like, oh, I'm going outside with my friends. And then in Long Island, when I got to Long Island, it started kind of like simmering more like but I don't know how to do it, you know? And then I just started taking classes on weekends in New York City, going by myself on the LIRR. Yeah. And using my little money that I made from being, I used to work in a movie theater at a concession stand, you know, like I would do that and try my best to figure it out. That was me.
And then like, did your mom, because you and your mom are super close.
Yeah.
So did you go to her and say, this is what I want to do? And was she like, girl,
look, okay, Black parents, I think most parents are like, huh? Like, especially maybe now it's different because they're like, oh, everything's possible. This person's on, no, okay.
No, listen, Black parents, when I moved to New York City, my father and my mom said, really?
This what you want?
You stay in Detroit and you're working at the plant or the Detroit
There
Free
we go.
Press, you journalist.
There we go.
But no, I think that's a Black family member thing, especially at that time.
Well, because they don't understand the idea of where's the pathway and how are you going to make money in real life? And you know, 401k, like we need money for retirement. That's how they thought. That's how they got it. That's how they live now, right? And so that was like so far away. I didn't even tell my mom. My mom was so loose with me by the time I'm like the youngest, like one of the youngest. She was so loose with it. She trusted me. I wasn't like some of my older sisters. You know, they were like the guinea pigs, really.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I saw what they were doing. I was like, ooh, I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? And I am grateful for that. But they also were doing, my oldest sister was doing, she was bagging like auditions, and she inspired me actually to be like, oh, I think I can do this. My siblings, like they were dancers in I remember going to their what did they have in school, talent shows?
Yeah.
And they'd sing in Vogue, never gonna get it, never. And I was like, that's my sisters! You know, and I was like, whoa, so they actually, now that I'm thinking about it, are kind of a really big inspiration because they made me feel like I can do it. They might have not been on TV at the time or anything like that, but they definitely were people who were singing and dancing and going to New York and doing all. So they that's a first realization. Yeah, they were kind of the inspiration, impetus for me to go do it. And then I kind of figured it out on my own. But telling my mom, my mom didn't even know what the heck I was. She was like, "You going where?" Okay, to a class. All right, you paying for it? Okay, I'll take you to the LIRR. Okay, when are you coming home? All right, And even when my mom was moving to North Carolina at the time, and she called me. No, she was like, I was graduating, and she was like, "So where are you going? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh." She's like, "Are you coming to North Carolina?" I go, "No,
mama.
I'm going to Manhattan." And she's like, "With who?" And I'm like, "Oh, obviously I applied for college, a private college. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was so expensive. Why? Why didn't I go to Hunter? Why didn't I go to?"
I went to Hunter.
Okay.
CUNY.
Hunter was bomb because
it's the city college.
Not only that,
yes,
because I was so I always wanted to go to school. It was like a thing for me, and I couldn't afford my college, so they were like, "You got these amount of days to get out." Basically, what happened, and that was like the first year. After the first year, and later on in life, after I started working, I was like, "I'm going to go back to school," and I went to Hunter for a little bit. And I was like studious. I was in the front. Because I was older, and I was like, I want to learn. I wasn't the kid who was like, I'm just getting out of school, like, "What you doing?" And I remember kids, and I was on One Life to Live then. And I remember kids being like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "What are you doing here?" So basically my mom, I remember not being able to afford school, and my mom being like, "I don't, come home, like come to North Carolina." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to." My plan A, which was always going to my plan A, which was acting and stuff. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. And I did.
No, you did. Do you remember your first acting gig?
Oh my God. My first acting gig. I mean, there's actually some people on shows now who I worked with back then. There's these after school videos like that I would do. I have them. They're on VHS. Okay. VHS. Okay. That's a video you put into a machine and it plays.
Do you even own a VCR?
No, a VCR. Oh no, I got to get them transferred. I really do. It's ridiculous. So I would do these like after school programs where I was like the friend who always did the right thing. I was like, "Yeah, so I'm going to go to work after school." And my friend was like always the one on drugs. What's her name? She's on this show now. What is it called? It's on Netflix. I forgot.
Okay.
Whatever. Don't kill me. But she's like an actress.
Work.
She's working. And we used to be on this show, and Darren, he was the director, and he created these videos, and they would play on like local channels
I
and
remember
stuff.
seeing those after school videos.
After
I
school.
know exactly what you're talking
And
about.
Darren is a working actor too now, and he's doing all the things. But like, yeah, I was doing those, and it was always like I did a bunch of them. So that was like my first acting gig. I still had to work, but and then I did like commercials. I started doing commercials, and then I started doing voiceovers. I did Rihanna's CoverGirl commercial, her voiceover. The Eyes Have It, and that was me on it. And so I was doing a lot of voiceovers.
The check clear.
Sorry. And that's what I'm telling people. Like, you don't have to be in front of the camera there are voiceover artists who are killing it.
Making money.
I mean, even reading books, like there's just so many things you can do. You don't have to if you don't want to be in the front of the camera, you don't have to, but you want to get your art out in some way. There's different ways to do that.
No, but the thing about you that I really do love, you have always been ambitious.
Very.
And your eyes was always on the prize. So how does one score a soap opera gig? Because, honey, first of all, people don't know this, and I've learned this by talking to soap opera stars like Victoria Rowell and all those people. People underestimate the work it goes into shooting a soap opera. It airs 5 days a week. You guys are in one location when you watch the soap opera. Y'all are in the kitchen for 2 months.
Still.
Right? Still. It's like... Oh, Victor and Nikki are still in the kitchen, and I just came back watching it 4 weeks later.
Yeah.
But like, it's a lot of work, a lot of lines, a lot of changes in the script. But How did you get that gig and what was that like for you? Because that's important.
I honestly don't even remember. I actually do remember the audition and going to ABC, and it used to be in Columbus Circle. And I remember going and then just, leaving. And I did have a callback. A callback is something they call you back to like, oh, we want to see you again. Like, we want to make sure that you're one of the few that made it through another round. And then I just remember kind of like, forgetting about it, not forgetting about it, but like at that point, I felt like I was on a million auditions and I've gotten close to things, but I was still working at terrible places at the time and like being like, I'm so over this. I remember walking out my job one summer day and being like, I'm done. I'm crying. It's a New York moment. Somebody's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. God, what else do you want me to do? And then I was living with a boyfriend who was very supportive and had a very good job and had a company. And he's like, I got you, boo. Yo, why don't you do this? He's like, work on your craft. Give yourself like a month or 2 months to like go for it. Go for it. Go do the thing, and I'll help. You don't have to pay any more money or anything. Like I'll do everything. And I'm like, okay. But literally, that was the first time I've ever felt like, what do you want from, like, what do I have to give you? You know, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, you have me? Like, people do this? People take care of people?
Yeah.
I was a housewife before a housewife.
You were a real housewife.
I was a real housewife.
Of Manhattan.
Of Manhattan. Living in the village, honey.
Ooh.
A doorman built, honey, it was nice. Okay.
How old were you?
I was like in my 20s. I was 27.
Yeah.
But he was like 35, 36.
Good age
It was
gap.
good. It was good.
Corporate guy.
He had his own editing company and then he created a huge company and he sold it and runs it now. Like and we're still friends and like he's amazing. I mean, he definitely is an amazing dude. And he's married and he has kids and he's gone. He's moved on.
Yeah.
But like he was very supportive in that way. But the fact that he offered that, I've never had that in my life. And then like a week later, I'm walking down the street and they tell me I booked One Life to Live. And I screamed. I remember I was by West 4th Street and I was by NYU and walking down the street toward my house, our place that we lived in. And I was jumping up and down and he was like, you booked it? It wasn't even a week that he made that offer. And I was like, thank you for that. I really appreciate it, but I can pay my way. And
oh, so you didn't want to
go on free ride?
Yeah.
No.
You are so good.
I am.
That's why God blesses you because your intention is good.
But can I share this with you? I have tried to do that.
To be the Catwoman.
I did.
Does it feel good?
Here's the thing. I am not good at it, okay? I tried it with an older person.
What was the age gap?
I'm not even telling you because y'all ain't cooking me.
Okay.
I will
cook you like grits, baby.
I will not share. No, but I just remember thinking, like, I was kind of naive. I was naive. I was a little naive in that way. Because I'm not really. I knew.
You knew what it was.
I knew what it was. So, but I was like, what do I got to do?
You know what you got to
do. How about, wait, look.
Nah, you know what you got to do.
Wait, look.
And how to do it.
Wait. So I'm like, one day he invites me over and I'm like, okay. Because I was always like happy and like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And then it was like, it was like an apple fell on my head and I had an epiphany. Because I'm sitting on the couch, he's sitting on the couch, he's getting closer and closer. And I'm like, it's like slow motion, baby.
You're like, this don't look too good. I'm close.
All I'm thinking is, Lord Jesus. And it's like, and he's getting closer and closer. And then I see a tongue coming out. And I'm like, I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Flo is visiting. I gotta run.
I gotta run. I can't be here right now. I can't do it. I've dated guys where they were my age or, whatever, or they were in a They were in a very, how do you call these?
Prominent place
positions
in their life.
But I've never been the girl. I've just never been that girl who can just like only rely on that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my own independence. I'm not saying you can't do nice things for me. I think you can. But for me, I think I've never just been like, oh, I'm just going to fall back on that and not.
Yeah, no, listen, there's a difference between enjoying the fact that a man is able to support.
I love it.
Yes, we love a supportive man.
I love it.
However.com, there's a difference when you're relying on him. That's a difference when you have to ask, like, hi, can I get some money to go shopping? Can I get some money to buy a Snickers bar?
Or here's your credit card and go do your thing. But it's just, I always feel like I owe you something.
Well,
like,
you kind of do. That's like how I'm smoking things. Sort of like, listen, let's have a real grown conversation. It's sort of like, there's like this exchange. It is what it is. I'm not saying the exchange is whatever, but a man is not going to provide for you. Well, listen, some men will provide for you just to be his company.
Nothing?
I think once he's older, like when you see these older men over 65 with a young woman, they like the company most times because they're not able to.
They want something.
They want something and they get it.
And they get it. But it's probably not every day.
No, oh no.
But also I'm like, you do you, I'm gonna do me. I know what I can't do.
Yes.
I know what I can't do.
That's all that matters.
And but I'm like, if that works for you, I don't know how, but you can do it. I know what I can. Because I've tested myself when I was younger. I've tested myself in all different ranges of things and like, no, that don't feel good to me. This feels okay. Nope, not doing that. Can't do that. And not saying in the way of like a man, just what I want.
But that's the purpose of dating in your 20s.
Which is great.
Everybody should do it. Do not get married in your 20s.
Don't get married in your 20s. Okay, because I'm sorry. Like, if you're married in your 20s, more power to you.
Get a divorce. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Marriage
is fantastic. No,
marriage is fantastic.
You got to be 30 plus.
You got to be 30.
My opinion, be 30 plus.
Here's what I would tell my daughter. Go have the time of your life.
Yes, Lord.
Be safe.
Yeah.
But go. I remember I fell in love in Costa Rica, ended up staying literally staying over my stay and then going back and forth for years. Ended up saw a guy at a party. He saw me. He was dancing with somebody else and he looked at me and I was like, Ended up spending New Year's with his family. His family's like, who the hell is this? But you gotta go and have fun and figure out what you like, what you don't like, who you like being around, what kind of people you like being around. Travel, eat all the food, get taken out, go to that party at night and dance the night away. Have a few drinks safely, obviously. But I always feel like people cut themselves off too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Themselves, you gotta enjoy that time because I couldn't just get married and not have enjoyed my life.
Period.
And that's in every way. I'm talking travel. Yes. I'm talking about, I remember my friends, I'm telling all my business to you. And you. I remember my girlfriend being like, my friend Lisa, you know who you are, girl. I was single and she's like, girl, we found these tickets to Sweden and we going this weekend. These tickets are $250 round trip. And I'm like, oh, where are we staying? We can, and her and a bunch of girlfriends, went there. I met a DJ. I was like, last night a DJ saved my life. I was like, because I like to dance, You're
a fun girl.
I'm a fun girl. I like to dance. I am not sitting by the wall.
No.
And I don't know how the dance is nowadays on the, on the TikTok. I don't do all that, but I just have fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta take advantage of your age and your time. And I'm not saying as you get older, I'm 44. if I was single, like, would I be going and I'd be traveling differently because it was not first class where I was, I was like,
Right.
I found an Expedia ticket like the other day and I was like,
Yes, girl.
it was amazing. It was like $236 or something in something cents. And I was like, and I was happily just because I was going. I was not in the front of the plane. I was just like, I'm going somewhere. I'm excited. You got to do that for yourself before you settle down, and you can still have fun with your family. It's just different. It's different.
No, it's different because the thing is this: you're in your prime in terms of like physicality, stamina, and just being blissfully ignorant in the sense. When I say ignorant, I mean not ignorant, blissfully naive.
You're blissfully naive.
Because it's sort of like.
But everything's forgivable.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, think about it. Like, I remember in my 20s being in New York City, and you were in New York City in your 20s too.
Yeah.
Baby, because we're the same age. I'm 45, you're 44.
Yeah.
Wait.
It was amazing.
TIKA! New York City?
New York City.
In the early 2000s?
It was good. It was good.
No social media?
No social media.
No phones?
No phones.
The parties?
Honey.
The exclusivity?
It was, and let me tell you something. I wasn't even, I was just working. But like, even when I worked in clubs back then too. Like I used to work, you remember Life?
Of course.
You remember Stephen Lewis?
Duh.
He connected me. Stephen Lewis was like this dude who opened up all the clubs. He was at the door. Like he was the guy. He introduced me to my first agent. And he let me in my first club underage. And he was like, if you have one sip of a drink, you will never come back to any of my clubs ever again until you are of age. And I was like, okay. I was like 20 or something like that. But he was like, And then one day he's like, what do you want to do with yourself? What do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I couldn't say it because it was like it felt impossible to do in a weird way. Like you're doing it, you're trying all the things, but to tell somebody I'm an actress and not really, you see actresses in these places. You see people who are doing those things. You see Janet Jackson dancing. You see all the people you want to like be. And you're like, actor. And he's like, okay, cool. Meet me here on this day. I'm gonna introduce you to somebody. Literally, he showed up. He had the agent. And he's like, I love her. She's from Jersey. Her name was Rita. She's like, I love her. She's great. She's beautiful. Oh my God, Steven. Yeah. The answer's yes. And I was like, really? And he introduced me, and he was like a huge lifeline for me. But like growing up during that time, it was so fun. Like you dance on tables. You just like had.
You had fun.
You had fun, and it wasn't like
no. It wasn't this or whatever. Or even when you're dancing, you weren't like this.
No.
You weren't posing in front of somebody else's Lamborghini like this.
No.
Stunting.
None of that mattered.
We caught the train, and sometimes we walked, but it was
yes.
It was the experience, and my concern for like my nieces and nephews in this day and age is you can't even have fun without people watching you. And then if you have a bad day, you go on Twitter and talk about it.
Oh, God. Ooh, people
because the thing, listen, one thing I know about us, we lived.
Here's what I will say. I have never regretted any part of my early 20s. Like, I'm like, I lived. I did everything I wanted to do. I made friends. I traveled. I did it all.
Come on, boys. Yes, best singer. No, and then listen, one thing.
And all doesn't mean like I'm sitting around like having sex with everybody. Just we know how people be like, oh, she did it all.
No, not even that.
No, just like living, having fun.
But the beauty of our experience is, in our 20s, we're both in New York City. We didn't know each other at the time. You're obviously in the world of like the actors and
Yeah.
all of that. And I was working at BET at the time, so mine was unscripted. But so I know all about my experience in the unscripted realm and the fun that I had.
Oh my God.
And the parties and just like all of that. But honey, you're in New York City and you
Yeah.
are an actress
I know.
on a soap opera.
Oh my gosh.
And you're gorgeous.
Oh my God.
And the exclusive events, honey.
It was so fun. Like, it's so crazy because I think when you said, you're like, you're in your prime of the way you look at that,
Yeah.
you don't realize.
I know.
And I also feel like I've grown into my face. You know what I mean? Like,
You always been gorgeous though, babe.
I thank you, but I still look at things and I'm like, oh my Lord. But then I look back and I'm like, when I was in Costa Rica and I'm like, my body was bodying. What was I complaining about? Like, everything was like, ugh. I was like paddleboarding with a friend. I told a friend to come to Costa Rica and I was like paddleboarding. I said, do you see this picture of us? Like, what was I complaining about? Don't complain. Don't complain.
No.
Enjoy. But yeah, I was on One Life to Live, which was amazing. It was a whole other realm. I'll always be grateful for that. But then, like, at the end of that, I knew that I didn't want to be on a soap for the rest of my life. Like, I just knew I wanted to do other things. And some people that was fine for. They were like, look, the check is good.
Yeah.
And I have a family and I'm good. And that was, I just knew I was younger and I just wanted to do other things. And so I booked the game then on BET.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Look, she said, this is too much for my ears.
Yes, honey.
You got to live to write, honey.
That's a quote and a thumbnail. You gotta live to write.
You do. But like and then I got on Gossip Girl and that was crazy.
Iconic.
It was crazy. I played Raina Thorpe and I never even watched the show when I auditioned for it. They were like, Gossip Girl. I was like, I heard of it. I knew, like, I saw them everywhere, but I never watched it. And that's probably why I booked it. Cause when I went in, I was like, I did the part and it wasn't like I was like thirsty for it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, cool, I'm done. And then they called me. There wasn't even a callback, I don't think. It was just like you booked it off of that, of coming in and doing it.
You were perfect
Thank you.
for that role.
Thank you.
Because you are this gorgeous chocolate sister.
Thank you.
And you're coming into this predominantly white space.
Yeah.
And you play sultriness very well. It was the eyebrows for me, honey. Like you
You mean the no eyebrows? Because I plucked them all off in the 90s?
And I remember being like, who is this chocolate drop? She is stunning.
Oh, thank you.
No, I am obsessed with Gossip Girl. Like
Oh my God.
that was my jam.
Yeah.
So to know that you were on Gossip Girl in New York City in the fucking 2000s.
Dude, I didn't know how big of a deal it was until I had to do a scene outside with the boys. And I was like, what are all these people doing here? This isn't MTV?
This ain't TRL.
This ain't TRL? Who do they think this is? Girl, I did not know.
You can say girl, but
I'm sorry. Like, I was like, ooh, sorry.
Sorry, she's telling y'all too much of our conversation. Go ahead, sis.
Like,
Don't tell them too much, Tika.
but yeah, it was amazing, and I had such a fun time. What I loved about that character is like she had her own money, she had her own company with her father, and the boys loved her. The boys they were like, "Hey, we want Raina. No, we want Raina," and I was like, "I don't know." I don't know. Want me to want me. And I'm just like, I love that for us. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we are wanted.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are wanted. So yeah.
Oh, no, you were wanted, baby.
No, but I'm just saying as like for when girls even now stop me, they go, oh my God, I loved Gossip Girl. And when you came on there, you had a real arc and it wasn't like you were just thought of and like thrown to, not thought of and thrown to the side and nobody liked you or wanted you and even if people didn't like her, she did not give a shit, honestly. And so I love that like women and girls and Black women could see me being like, wait, she's wanted. She says what she wants. She does what she wants. She's not in, she's not bending the knee to anyone, you
Mhm.
know, and she's her own human, you know, and I love that for us.
No, and listen, you represent your community very well.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure if you know this, but a lot of my female friends love you, look up to you, the way you epitomize beauty, elegance. It's not lost on anybody. You are a chocolate woman. My chocolate girlfriends be like, that's our bitch. Like
Oh,
Tika is like, because, you know, unfortunately in our community, listen, there is some sort of like negative connotation when it comes to the treatment of dark-skinned women. So when it comes to your place in this business, the importance of that role in Gossip Girl. You know what I mean?
I just think everybody wants to see themselves.
Yeah.
And they want to see themselves being fought over. They want to see themselves have money. They want to see themselves like say no, you know? And I'm just grateful that I could do that, and the writers actually wrote something that could be that way. So yeah.
No, and look, so I feel like your biggest breakout, and I want to hear your side of the story. I already know it, but my raindrops, I want them to hear it.
Yeah.
Is when you got the role of Candace on the Have and the Have-Nots, and the fact that you declined. the
Right.
offer.
I auditioned for it, and then I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't even know why. Like, I don't even, you know, Tyler always makes fun of me now. He's like, oh, and you, look, you didn't even want to do my show. Look at you. You got a house, and you got this now, and you got a baby, and you didn't even want to do my show. And I'm like, he doesn't talk like that, but yeah. But I just feel like, yeah, I still have the audition tape, but then all of a sudden I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was people in my ear. I don't know what it was that I was like, no, I don't know. It could have been a lot of different variations of things, but what I will say is I'm grateful for the opportunity. And also, I didn't think anybody would like her. I was like, she is a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, she's rough. But then everybody's like, I have people now who are like, I used to watch this with my grandma.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to watch this with my mom. Now I'm a fan of it. And I'm like, it's like a generational, and I'm like, what? And now it's on Tubi, like every episode's on Tubi. So now it's like kind of re-coming. Everybody's like, I love Candace. And I'm like, they're like, I want to be like Candace. I'm like, no, you don't.
Whoa. Don't be like Candace.
Don't be like Candace.
Be like Tika. But no, one of my favorite parts of the story, so I know this because my job was to document the behind the scenes, inner workings of making the Have and the Have-Nots. I think I told you this already, but you probably don't remember if I did tell you. So
I'm always on a roller coaster with you. I don't know what you're going to say.
I know. But you know, I love you, so it'll be fine.
I love you too.
Okay. So I'm
Wait, if you didn't love me, would you be like, so I heard?
No, listen, I'm gonna have to give us some grace.
Oh, no, you'd be like.
But I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna ask the questions though.
You'd be like, so I heard.
Let's have a real conversation.
Oh,
That's
is that
what
how
I
you
do.
do it? Is that how you do it?
My brain does know that. When Carlos said, let's have a real conversation, he said, stop the bullshit.
Ooh.
No. So here I am. I'm in Mr. Perry's office. And we're filming Mr. Perry have a meeting. And then Miss Winfrey calls. And she saw the first episode of the Have and the Have-Nots. I'm sorry, not the episode. She read the script of like the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And they are marveling over how amazing the script was, blah, 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 blah. And then it comes to you, and Miss Winfrey's like, oh my gosh, Candace is so delicious and so great.
Yeah.
And they both laughed about the same thing you said earlier. Can you believe she didn't want to do the show? And Miss Winfrey said, I cannot see anyone playing Candace but TIKA Sumpter. So when I worked with Miss Winfrey a couple of years before Mr. Perry, as I'm following her process on the final season of her talk show, one thing she told us on camera was she's the worst booker in town because when her producers will be like, hey, Oprah, we hit a wall. with booking this guest. Maybe a
call.
phone call from Oprah would work. And she said, when I called them, they tell me no. I'm like, all right, what you want to say? So the best part of the story was you said no, and then the Oprah Winfrey calls you.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
I do. I was in the car with my mom, and I get a phone call from an undisclosed number, and I'm like, I pick it up, and
You had no warning from like the agent, nobody.
I don't think anybody was like, maybe Tyler said somebody's gonna call you. Maybe.
Okay.
If it's a little fuzzy in that area, but I remember her call and she's like, hello. And I was like, hello? I'm looking at my mom. She's like, this is Oprah. I go, what? Are you, what? Who? She's like, TIKA, I don't do this.
Told you.
Yeah, she said, when people say what they want, I just let them go on their journey. But here's what I will say, and she went on and like talked about it, and she's like, just think about it, and I was like, okay. I was gonna say yes. I was like,
Who said no to Oprah, girl?
I'm going to say yes. And so then it happened. But the fact that they I think that the fact that they would even go that far for me, at that point, it's like, I know I did One Life, and I know I did Gossip Girl in the Game, and I've done some commercials, but it's like they didn't have to go that hard for me, and they did, and I'm super grateful that they did.
No, and we all are, because to their credit I know this as a producer, and I always tell people, I know a star when I see one.
Oh.
And obviously, when you talk about Mr. Perry and Ms. Winfrey, they know stars when they see one. And it didn't have to be the biggest name in the world or like the whatever, but it was the fact that certain roles are meant for certain people.
Yeah.
And I remember Taraji and Gabrielle Union telling a story about how they all auditioned for Olivia Pope.
Oh, yeah.
And how they all said, this is Kerry Washington's like character.
Yeah.
Like they said, we'll audition, but we all know.
We know it's for Kerry.
It's for Kerry.
Yeah,
and I look at Candace as that can only be played by you. And what was so interesting about that, and again, I'm just sitting there watching you guys work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she makes this woman who's a villain so likable. And that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a villain likable. But you tapped into a place with Candace that made all of us, strangely enough, root for that character.
Yeah. I think you root for the underdog because we all have that in us. Like, we all have underdogness in us. Like, where people constantly like count us out. And people do, she did some messed up things, but she really, at her heart, wanted to have like a relationship with her mom, loved her brother, didn't have a dad. Like, I think people saw themselves in her in terms of like, oh, she's a fighter. She's going to fight her way out of this bag no matter what. She's going to fight her way out of this situation, but it's also juicy and fun. Mm-hmm. And you get to play and be irreverent about anything. Like, it's like, I got to like go to a married woman's house and be like, bitch, I could do it better than you can. And talking to Veronica's crazy inside. She's saying I'm taking a whole bath. And I'm like, oh, so you know those? You know what those are? It's like constantly reading. And now that I'm on TikTok, which is crazy because
I love that you're on TikTok, by the way.
Now I'm on TikTok.
You're not reading the girls, but
No, but I do see people being like, when they repost the Habs, and I go into there and I look at it, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. Like, it's just crazy. We're like going back and forth. It's just fun. Girls love, it's like back and forth. Like, oh, really?
It's like, it's Dynasty, it's Icelandic, it's soap opera. And Mr. Perry is such a genius because he was able to tap into that world in a way where, it, like you said, it resonated with our grandmothers. It resonated to a gay man. It resonated to women. It resonated to a universal audience.
Yeah.
And it was such a genius show, amazing actors, and it did change your life.
Yeah.
But I want you to talk about the fact that I know how much Mr. Perry means to you.
Yeah.
And the value that you have in that friendship, so much so that he walked you down the aisle when you got married.
Well, he came, he flew, my mom walked me down.
Okay.
Sorry. And then he was there though. He showed
Yeah.
up in so many ways that like, you guys have no idea. And that's what he does. He's like, I'm standing in the gap for your dad. Like, I got you. Like, what do you need? What do you want? Like, he is very much so a person who we have such it's like a big brother, uncle, like a big brother, little sister relationship. Like we bicker some once in a while, but like, but it's all
Which
good.
is fine.
No, but it's not even like bad. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying.
it's like going back and forth with you and me, like being like, what?
Yeah.
You know, being like, you know, or he'll send me a script and be like, what do you think? And or I'll send him something saying, you know, like I did, he made my film, Sisters in Italy. And yeah, he holds a very special place in my heart, because not only, you know, did he change my life in various ways, but he is a person who wants to see me run even further. And he wants to open the doors for that to happen. And we have deep talks, you know, and when we do talk, I know whatever I say is not leaving the space that we're in, you know, or if I have like, hey, whether it's about contracts or whatever it's about, like, I know people underestimate, the great thing about people underestimating him is he got to collect all his bags. And now it is not only collecting his bags, but now for him, he's able to tell people how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's able to help people run faster, right? And so, yeah, he definitely has a special place in my heart.
No,
in life.
And I saw the camaraderie with the two of you on set. And the beauty of me being behind the scenes is everything you're saying, I can confirm.
Yeah.
He works super hard.
Yeah.
He loves Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And people may know that, but I'm here to say it. That man loves Black people. And when I say that crew, girl, and here I am as a showrunner. And I didn't have my company at the time. And I'm getting paid to like follow this man, which is like God's blessing.
Yeah.
And I saw how he employed so many Black people. I saw how he gave so many Black people opportunities. I saw how he just has this reverence for his community.
Yeah.
And one thing he said to me as I was working with him, because, you know, I was going through this thing about like being critiqued.
Yeah.
Because I do reality television.
What do you mean being critiqued?
Well, because I do reality television, it's not a genre that gets the most respect.
Yeah, but everybody want to be.
Well, no, everybody watches it, and
everybody, and they're using reality people to promote shows.
I know
that they're not on.
I know.
Because they have that big of a following. So I don't know what is the big secret. I mean, like.
Well, no, the thing is one of those things where, again, because we don't talk about the business in our friendship, it's one of those things I can say to you is the genre of reality looks down upon when it comes to certain people in certain places in the industry.
I see.
It's sort of like we're not as elevated as the scripted
somebody
world.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
like a tiers, there's
exactly.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. This hierarchy of like whatever.
Yeah.
And one thing he did say to me that I just remember, and I always remind myself of that, he said, you have to be true to you. And you have to be true to your art. And who gives a fuck?
That's him.
What?
Mr. Who gives
like if people are if people are judging you, Carlos, based on the type of shows you do, and you know that you are telling the stories of these people, and it matters to these people, and who cares if the outside world has a problem with it? He said, look at the numbers. And it hit me, and I constantly remind myself of that because he was able to build this billion-dollar fortune by what you said 5 minutes ago, being the underdog, which was great. And he talks about being hidden. Like, it's okay to be hidden. Stop trying to be everywhere because...
And stop trying to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you don't... Every time I see him or certain other people walk quietly on something, I'm like, usually they're the ones who can buy out the building. Like they, they just have so much going on and you don't have to be loud. I will say, even with our numbers, he says, look at the numbers. We were number one every Tuesday. We were going back and forth between Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I'm talking like
Yes.
we have bigger numbers than some of the cable shows. Like,
Yes.
every Tuesday we were basically number one for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
Over 3 million live viewing.
live. That means people are up. It was like when you had to go
Appointment
watch
television.
MTV video.
Yeah.
When you watch Brandy
Uh-huh.
and Monica, that boy. Is it on? Is it ready?
Yes.
It's not on. They said it's coming.
Yeah.
Like literally. And so I just feel like it was, you could say what you want about the show and how insane or whatever, but the numbers are the numbers. And we were competing with people who have Emmys and all these things. And so it's just like, it is what it is, but I know we had the numbers.
You have the numbers. And speaking of numbers, you were number one on the call sheet.
I was.
But explain to the audience how significant that is, especially for a Black woman in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, I've been number one on the call sheet a few times now in my career. And I didn't understand what that meant until it happened. And number one is basically like, you are the person leading the charge. You are the person who is leading the show. You're from top down in terms of like the attitude. I always say when people have bad attitudes, it starts with the top to me. And yeah, it's like you're leading a show and you're treated differently. You're treated with respect and people are like, what do you need? So that means I can be like, if one of my coworkers on the show is like, oh my God, my hair. Or if I'm at a movie and I'm a number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have the access to say, hey, this person's hair isn't right, or who can we hire? Who can we get? I can speak up for everybody.
Yeah.
And that comes with the good and the bad, because you could be called difficult and all those things. But like, I don't believe I was ever called difficult for asking for things that were necessary. But you have more choices. You basically can speak up for the things you want on that set. And it is a world of different. You're like, wait, why y'all treat me this way? And so I didn't understand it until it actually happened. And actually, I think that was the first time I was the number one on a call sheet, which was the Haves. And they treated me amazingly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then from there you did Mixed Dish.
I did.
Which, when I say to you, and I text you this already, so
Yeah.
no surprise. You killed that role.
Thank
because
you.
to go from a serious villain to a
Mom.
comedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
were so funny
Thank
when you were
you.
working opposite we like to call him Zach Morris.
I know.
It was
Gosling.
yes.
Oh God.
No, Mark Paul.
Mark Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's okay.
Mark Paul, yes.
Yes. And the chemistry you had with the kids.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that as well, being like, your star is shining. And it hasn't dimmed since. Like, even your first starring role in a movie, and you were with Tiffany Haddish.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking? Like,
yeah.
like it's
Nobody's fool.
It's up from there. And then Sonic the Hedgehog, which is like global, international success.
Yeah.
You have accomplished so much. And the beauty of you as a person is you've allowed your work to speak for itself.
Yeah.
And where do you get that from because unfortunately, oftentimes in your business, the personal life can overshadow the business, but you never allow that to be the case.
I think because I grew up in a time where it was like, let the work speak for itself, or let, I just wasn't, it never was about fame for me. It was really about like, I just want to act. I just want to be in the TV. Like I didn't understand. I mean, I knew people who I loved and who I grew up watching, but it never crossed my mind like, ooh, I want to walk across the street and be known and people to say it literally did not even cross. It was literally about work. And so because it was that, the fame part, it's like, that's why it doesn't faze me now. Like people are like, I'll go and I'll do an interview somewhere and they're like, where is everybody? I'm like, it'll be like 2 people with me. And they're like, this is it? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my God. Or they'll be like, you're so like easy. I'm like, what are these people doing to you? They're like, you have no idea. And I'm like, what? Why are people treating y'all like this? I don't get that. Also, I wasn't raised that way. Like my mom, because I know what it's like to be treated crazy, or my family, or growing up just in a normal environment, struggling, like well, that's not normal, but like struggling and trying to get by. I never want to treat anyone I know what it is to not have, and to have empathy, and to go to the corner store and ask for when you get things on what is it called?
What, layaway?
Not just layaway, but I know what layaway is. But like when they basically give you food and you didn't...
A credit?
A credit.
Yeah.
Like I know what it's like to ask for credit.
Yeah,
and I have to humble yourself, you know, as a kid. So I would never... I don't have that in me to treat somebody crazy. And I don't care where you are, how much money you have no right to treat me crazy. Or anybody else. Like I've always been that way. Even in high school, I was just like always taking up for somebody. Like always being like kind of like in a way like a weird protector of people, or empathizer of people, you know, like the kids who wore the dark clothes and like emo-y, and like people are like, they're weird. And I'm like, hey John, you okay? You know, like I was just always that person. So I don't know what that looks like to not be anything other than that.
Well, and again, a lot of it has to do with the great job your mother did raising you, obviously.
Thank you.
Your mom is fantastic.
Thank you.
She's a great woman. And you have shown the world what a great mom you are. Because when it comes to Ella, honey, you don't show baby girl's face at all.
No.
And I always tell people, you and Kerry Washington are the type, if I was to ever be a parent, I look at you and Kerry Washington and I admire the fact that you two have said, I chose to be, you know, in front of the camera. My child did not have a choice. If that is her or his choice, great. But the fact that your child can go to the playground and not be bothered or have paparazzi follow her, and she's a beautiful young girl, is that something you and your husband, Nick, decided to do the moment you discovered you were pregnant?
In the beginning, we did post a few pictures of her, and then we quickly realized not a good idea. And I know most people are good, and most people try their best to be respectful, but I think it freaked him out when somebody made a video of her, you know, like not in a weird way, but in a way they linked all her pictures together, and I don't think they were trying to be bad. I think they were just trying to do something sweet. But for us, it was like, oof. And then, you know, just all the things with kids online. Like I found out the statistic that most videos of children are being looked at by 70% of men. Yeah.
Oh.
So we were like, Nick's like, yep, I'm good. Nope. She didn't ask for any of this. We're gonna, you know, she's not going to be online. And that was just a choice we made. And look, again, your choice is your choice. No judgment. We just felt like, we're good.
Yeah.
So.
And one thing I love about you and Nick's relationship, it's also private.
Yeah.
I love a private relationship.
Thank you.
I know a thing or two about that. But I I love the fact that you two really do live in your own bubble.
Yeah.
And when I say bubble, I mean like love bubble in the sense of like you two aren't posing on the red carpet. Look at you. Because the idea of you like
Certain things, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
certain times he does come with me, right? Like certain times we're like, okay, cool. I'm like, him and I, like, it's so weird. I have never, again, like, I don't know if it goes back to like my independence and like him being like, I don't want to be your plus one all the time. Like, I'm good. You can go. Bye. And I'm like, bye.
Right.
We'll see you later. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like we have a really good understanding of the things he wants to be and show up for. And then I'm like, please come. I need you there. Like he was there for Tyler's opening of his studio with me. Like we were both invited or whatever. But like certain things he'll come. But most things he's like, we've done this. We're good. You know, if I'm like, please come with me. He's like, of course.
Yeah.
But he's not, I don't need him to be there all the time for me. Some people want them there all the time. I'm like, and a lot of the times I'm like, I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Because you be in and out.
Queen.
No.
Queen in and out.
You would, listen, the thing I know about you would much rather have a 2-hour dinner with your closest friends than to be at a 2-hour sort of like premiere that's not your movie, that's someone, and you know, you go to support and you show up, take the photo, but listen, you're in the industry, but what I love about you is you haven't allowed it to be your identity.
No.
I know.
That would be tragic.
I know.
I'm in it, I'm not of it, and I love it. I love all the people that I see when I'm there. I love my friends when I see them there. But like, it also can just get like, it's almost one of those things where you see people all the time and you mean well and you're like, oh my God, we got to get together. And then you never get together. Or sometimes the conversations are just, you know, flattened because you're seeing this person for quick, but it's a lot of energy. And I'm an introvert at heart. I know like me being here with you because I'm comfy, but I'm like, it takes so much out of me when I'm like, just like little bits of like, okay, like, yeah, not saying everything has to be a deep conversation, but I'm more of a, let's sit and have a glass of wine and like person. So all these little conversations that like, I'm literally inside. I'm that meme where I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then I go in the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
And then I'm like, ready?
Yes.
Oh my God, so tell me everything. You know?
You practice in the car.
Oh my God, I'm like, what am I going to say?
And then you deflate when
I
you...
deflate.
I know.
So then when I go home and my husband's like, how was it? I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. But he knows that
Yeah.
the safest place I feel is like on our couch, watching a show, having a glass of wine and being quiet. Because I don't need to talk all the time. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, they took it from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Because what people don't understand is it's work.
It's work.
Like we're people.
Yeah.
And we love people. We love conversing and
Oh
all
my
those
God,
things.
yeah.
And when people come up to us, it's a
Oh
whole
my
thing,
God.
like all that.
And it's real.
It's amazing.
Like, it's very
Yes.
here.
No.
But it's like...
There's a difference when... So one thing y'all don't know is, and I'll speak for she and I in terms of like, we are sort of like a little shy extroverts.
Oh my God.
In the sense of like...
Yeah.
For example, if I have to go to an event
Right.
and I have to like do the red carpet or be around people, I know that I have to be on. And I literally, what y'all don't know is I take a nap in the car as I'm being driven to the venue.
Oh, wow.
And I tell myself, okay, bitch, get up. And I get up
time.
and I'm like, because when people meet Carlos King, I have to be everything they see on television.
Well, you just want to show up as you.
Yes, and I love all of that.
Oh yeah.
But I also know that it's a lot at one time. Because in real life, you're not
doing this all the time.
All the time.
So when you see somebody on the street and they're like, Carlos, you're like, hey.
Hey, what's up? Today at the airport, 3 beautiful black girls. I'm at TSA pre-check.
Ooh, you said TSA pre-check.
Well, whatever. Shut up, Tika.
You said,
Whatever.
but do you have that digital ID?
I do too.
Okay, good. Because in Atlanta, TSA, everybody got TSA pre-check. You ain't special.
Digital ID in Atlanta airport is T, honey.
Queen.
Baby. Everything.
Because everybody got TSA.
Yes.
Pre-check.
No, I was leaving another place. So, look at that a second. Okay, so, and they're like, Carlos King. And I'm like, hey, girls. True story.
Yeah.
And they come up behind me. We're all in line. And they're like, how was your weekend? I said, it was good. How was yours? And we're having a great conversation. I love that.
Yeah.
I love all of that.
Me too.
It's when I'm at like an industry party and I know that I have to.
You have to talk. You have to be present.
You have to talk.
No, I love to talk. But I only can do it for a finite amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm going to do the Irish goodbye. Like, you're not going to see me. I'm going to disappear.
Don't you love that?
Oh, my God. I'm like, I don't need to say bye to anyone. And I love everyone, but I need to go because I'm going to burn out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm going to explode. That's how it feels, like, as an introvert. Like, it feels like I can't talk to you anymore. Like at home even, I'm like, I can't talk to you. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anymore. Like I need to breathe.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a panic attack.
No, that's true.
And I'm not like fragile, but I'm just like, I know my limit. That's it.
Well, listen, you're an author.
I am. I got it from my mama. You can get that at Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Target. I know some of y'all are still not on Target, but Target, Walmart.
So it's a children's book. And first of all, well done.
Thank you.
And secondly, the beauty of this is the fact that it's sort of, to me, like a love letter to your daughter, too, in terms of like really crafting something, because you wrote this book.
Yeah.
And doing it in a space to where your daughter can be seen. But talk to us about the book and the purpose of it.
The purpose of it is, and hopefully it's a lifelong series of I got it from my whomever that next person is. But I didn't realize how often I would be apologizing to an 8-year-old or, at the time 7 and 6-year-old because of the things that I did to her to hurt her feelings or whatever I did, yelled and just like lost it and it wasn't her fault but made it her fault. And I didn't grow up in a time where my voice was heard because there was just no time. It was like my mom was like, I need to get these coins and you need food, okay? And rent is due and whatever is due. And there was just not those conversations of, well, tell me why or tell me how. But didn't you say this? Why are you doing this and you're telling me to do that? Nowadays, the kids are just different and they are more aware. And I just feel like we should it's like you can't say we want our kids to have a voice when they are adults. We want our kids to be strong when they're not those things when they're young. Because I was that person. I was like the quiet, observant kid. And as I got older, I didn't understand what I wanted. That's why my 20s was amazing because I got to understand, oh, I do have a say in this. Oh, this is how I feel because I didn't know how I felt as a kid in certain aspects of it. It was kind of just shut down. It was like, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
And what I've learned was my daughter was doing as I do, whether it was my attitude at home of being like, look, I'm a turtle when I get in a fight or argument. I kind of go in my shell and I go away and I'll have to come back. Yeah, I close the door. I'm like, don't talk to me because I'm going to say some things I don't want to say. And she would go to her room and just close her door. And she was kind of doing mirroring me. And so the idea of this is it's the idea of adoring a parent, but also the apology from a parent. And this idea of she gets all these things from her mama. I do my hair the way my mama does. I got it from my mama. And then her mom loses it on her in this book, which again, we don't see in books where I feel like parents have permission to lose it because they do. It's going to happen sometimes. But it's the repair that matters most, which is I I got frustrated. But she goes and mirrors her mom at school with the same kind of attitude to this little boy who's just like, I love to paint. And he falls and does what she did to her mom, and she's like, please leave, like her mom. And her mom's like, we don't do that to people. We don't talk like that. Where did you get that from? She's like, I got it from you, mama. And so ultimately it really is full circle. She's like, and I still want to be like my mama, but with a big splash of me, you know? And so it's just the idea of like giving parents permission to not be okay. And then also what is most important is the repair.
I also want to talk to you too, before I let you go, about dating. Because when it comes to, listen, I'm over 40. I'm newly single.
Yeah.
And
I know. I found out on a show.
Don't do it! Tika!
Friend. Where have you been? Nobody knows me.
Tika, you know we have sit-down conversations that last for hours, and then we forget to take a picture.
We always forget to take
every
pictures.
Every time we have dinner, she's always like, she'll text me.
We forgot to take a picture.
We take a picture. I'm like, because we're engrossed in the conversation.
I know.
So we'll get to that in a second.
It's all good.
No, it's fine. But no. So I'm like in this space of singledom.
Okay.
And a lot of my female friends are Black women who are also single.
Yeah.
And one thing that I saw was like my Black female friends dating white men and having the sort of like, I guess I'll speak for them when I say this, epiphany for them in terms of like, you have to date what works for you, and you have to date energy.
Yeah.
And I know when it comes to you and your relationship, you are somebody that Nick is such a great human.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there when you guys were working together on the set, and I saw this friendship turn into obviously what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, when it comes to that, what advice do you give Black women over 40 who are single like me, who are sort of like, you just have to, you can't concern yourself with the outside world, and you have to do what works for you?
I don't know who said this, but your relationship is not up for public opinion. Period. It isn't. They don't have to pay your bills. They don't have to have sex with you. They don't have to wake up to your stinky breath in the morning. Like, they don't have to do any of those things. So if you're able to really live for you and what you want, and look, I'm not saying I've dated well, and I've dated amazing Black men. And I think sometimes what happens is people think because you end up with somebody that you never dated within it's like my daddy was Black. I love Black men. They're fine as hell, you know, but that's who I ended up with is my white husband. And I feel like if I would have, for us, it just happened that way. Like, it was like, oh, you cute. Okay. I mean, I was quick with it. I was like, so what are we doing?
No disrespect to you. Nick is, no, I mean,
he's a handsome dude.
No, he's fine. Go ahead.
But
go ahead, baby.
Yeah, and nothing's perfect. In any relationship,
yeah,
we all know that.
Yeah.
Are there differences in culture? Sure. You explain it, you figure it out. Are there different ways we were raised? Yeah, those are things that happen. Are there different ways that we see things with our daughter? Sometimes, you know. So nothing is like the perfect parable, right? But you have to do what works for you. And the advice I would say is, we are only 14% of a population, right? In terms of Black people. Part of that is Black women, right? And I think there are more Black women than there are Black men.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's being left out. So I know we all want to date each other. I get it. But try something new. You know, there's a movie, Sanaa Lathan. Try something new just to see, okay, here are the things I like about this person, how he treated me. That was different than maybe I was treated or heard. It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
If you can open yourself up to the freedom of not judging the thing and just dating, and then if you like it, amazing. And if he loves it and you guys are loving it together, then you move on to the next phase. But I think we have this weird, I watch all these like YouTube videos with these dating, and I'll be like this. What?
Yes, it's hard out there for a pimp.
But also the way we talk about each other to each other, and
Don't get me started.
it's crazy how we are talking to. We're saying we want the Black love, and then the way people are talking at each other, I'm like, what? Y'all are nuts. Some of these things that y'all are saying to each other.
Yeah.
And I watch it, and sometimes you're laughing, and you're like, oh, that was funny, and that wasn't funny. But you're just like, we can't treat each other like this. And the advice I would give to everybody is date who the hell you want to date. They have to treat you right. They have to be up to your standard, whether that's like, yo, you gotta, and standards vary, right? Like, I know people are like, I ain't settling. You know, coffee shop date. Nope, not doing it. You know, it's like, actually, sis,
sir.
a coffee shop date is amazing because you can cut it short.
Period.
You ain't sitting there at dinner like inside like, oh, Lord. I just ate this lobster. No, wait, I'm eating the lobster and I want to finish, but I don't want the conversation.
Right, exactly.
So can you go? No, but like, I just feel like I understand the standards conversation, and you have to figure out what you're going to, even in a marriage, certain shit goes out the door. Certain things that I maybe want and like, it's a compromise. There's never anybody who has everything. They say the best situations is when you're doing some sort of compromise or agreement, is you guys both walk away feeling like, okay, they gave that up, I gave this up. It's fine. It's even in that way. Like, not saying that you have to give up anything. I'm just saying, like,
But
I am saying you have to give up stuff. There are things that you aren't going to get everything you want.
There is no such thing at having it all.
No.
You can have this at this point,
Yep.
that at that point, but no one is perfectly made for you. And you have to compromise and pick your battles.
You're basically two different people coming together with all of your stuff and
Yeah.
all of his stuff, and you're figuring out your stuff together. And I don't like this stuff, but I like this, but I don't like this, but I like this. Okay, this could work. And you're like a Rubik's Cube trying to like fit. And so nothing is going to be absolutely like whole and whole, you know, square and square peg, and it's gonna vary. So you're gonna be giving something up. I'm telling you, nothing. You're not gonna get it all.
But that's the beauty
Okay, so tell me about what? So
Oh, so you're tipping me. Go ahead, girl.
I do. I want to know like what happened.
Well, I will.
Not like what was the ultimate. When did you know it's not going to work for me? When did you know?
I know, because you met him.
Yeah.
I know.
And he was so sweet.
He was there. Yeah. No, he was. He was.
Oh!
No, he was.
I know he was.
Still is. He
He's
still
very
is. He
sweet.
still is.
So tell me, what was the thing that didn't work?
Well, no, something happened that I'll tell you privately that was.
Creep.
Don't do it. Not that.
Okay.
It was unexpected.
I'm kidding.
But the thing is this.
I'm being messy.
No. I love it. No, but the thing is, listen, we're still friends. We still communicate all the things, right?
Great.
It's nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
No betrayal.
Okay.
None of that shit, right? But I am trying to figure out, because I was with him for so long, as you know.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out like what it is that I want. And dating at my age is very interesting because people do have this idea of this perfect person.
Yeah, they do.
That does not exist. And I feel sad for
It's an expectation that is so insurmountable.
I feel sad for the people that I encounter. Like the dates I've gone out on. Like one guy said to me, "Oh, I Googled you."
Oh, see.
And I said, "Okay." Like, whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you're not that. I thought you would be shorter." And I said, "Well, if I was short, is that a problem?" He said,
Were you turned off from that moment of I Googled you?
I wasn't. Okay, so on some real shit.
Because I would be.
Okay, I'm being very honest with you. I was taken aback. And then because I'm sort of like, you don't know what it's like to date somebody who's in public eye, so don't don't judge the fact that he Googled you.
Okay.
Because if the roles were reversed, maybe you would do it too out of curiosity because it was a blind date. Like a friend of mine said.
Oh, okay. Set you up.
So, I mean.
Well, it wasn't blind because he Googled you.
No, the thing is, right. She was like, you know, Carlos King, he was like, I've heard of him.
Oh,
you know, whatever.
I've heard of him that I Googled him.
But then he said to me like, yeah, if you were sure, I would have left the date. And I thought to myself in that moment, wow, how sad is your mentality that instead of getting to know somebody, you're judging them off of their height.
Not only that, you don't know what you're missing out on. You don't know what you're missing. You are missing a whole lot of good in every way.
Yeah.
Because of a height difference? Are you kidding me?
But in my community...
That's a thing.
So no, my community, we have this thing, when I
What's
say
your
we...
community?
The
I'm
gay
kidding.
community.
I'm
You're like, what is it, girl?
Yeah. Girl, what is it?
No, I'm really big on this because, again, I'm seeing things. I'm like, wait, y'all still doing this? Like, feminine versus masculine.
yeah.
Like, that sort of thing. And I just feel like...
But isn't there a kind of guy that you like?
Well, so now that I'm 40, now in my 20s, there was a type. And I feel like in your 20s, it's fine to have what you like.
Right.
But my good sis, my good bro, my good they.
Yeah.
When you're either pushing 40
you saying you're
or over 40.
Are you saying your options go down?
or you're smarter to have lived life to know.
No, that doesn't matter.
I want somebody who's a good person. I do want my man to live a soft life.
Oh.
I do.
Ooh. You want to go out?
Well, you know. But that's me.
I love that.
It's who I am. I love being a provider.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
But you didn't answer my question.
Go ahead.
What is because I understand women, look, there are certain things that certain women are like, hey, I want this kind of dude to be my, like, I like this look, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, there's certain looks that you like or whatever. But I guess my question is, when is it time to say deuces? Like, when is it time for you?
Yeah.
You were in a long relationship.
Yep.
You said I wanted to get to know myself. Did you not know yourself when you got in the relationship? Because people change over years.
You do, and you have to. So I met my ex at 25 years old.
Okay. Oh, you're a different person.
I'm 45.
Yeah,
I'm not the same person.
Right.
I'm such a leader, and he was that. And
so it's two leaders in the house.
You can't have two leaders in the house. You just can't. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
You can't.
Really?
You can't. You can have two leaders in the house if they lead in different categories within the household.
Got it.
So, like, with me, I am somebody who leads in terms of I make decisions that we're gonna go here to eat, or we're gonna go here on a trip, or like we're staying at this hotel, like, and I'll, whatever, like I'll take care of that.
Here's what I love about this, because I think the problem with this whole, because there's this whole thing of like, I'm a leader and I want my wife to submit or be submissive.
Yeah, no.
That I have to want to follow you.
Yeah.
Like that means you trust the person that you want to follow. Like if somebody's like, I'll go in that building with you, it's because they trust you.
Yeah.
That's when, and this whole, I think the term like submissive or any of those things, I'm like, they kind of should just be thrown out. I think it's just somebody who trusts you enough to say, I'm going into that building and I need you to come with me. And for somebody to say, I'm coming because I trust you, right? To me, that is, I think when you use terms like, I hear a lot of men like, I want a submissive wife, or I want a submissive girl. It sounds so low. It feels low. And I know it's in the Bible. I follow the Bible. I love Jesus. But the times have changed. And that idea, I like a leader.
Yeah.
I like somebody to tell me what to do.
Ooh.
You know why?
Go ahead.
Because I'm like this because I have had to lead my whole life, right? And so when somebody or my husband comes in and he's, tells me what to do, like, this is what's planned, here's what we're doing, with strength and confidence, it's like, I'll shut up. Because a lot of times I'm like, sometimes, we talk too much. So I do. I ain't gonna say we. I know I be like, but what? But what? But how? But when? But why? But where? And it's like, girl, shut up. Shut up. I'm like, can you just tell me what to do? It's just trust.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's all it is. And I'm living in that. Listen,
I love that.
Yes, and I listen. I love where I'm at. I have no complaints.
Will you get married again, or?
Well, I wasn't married the first time we had.
Oh, you living in sin?
Don't do it. Well, I didn't expect to be single at this big age. So anything is possible, whether that means having kids or getting married. What I have said to myself is this.
You don't have to get married.
No, I know. I never wanted to get married, by the way. But if my man, because I'm such a provider, if that is something that means a lot to him,
you'll do
and
it.
I agree with where we are in our relationship and it makes sense, I'll do it.
It has to make sense.
It has to make sense for me to do it.
Don't just be getting married to get
No.
married.
I was with somebody for more than 15 years and we weren't married, but we had a real commitment.
That's why I thought you guys, because it's been so long.
No, I know. Everyone thinks it was like common law at that point.
Do we get money for common law?
Not you.
I'm like, I can't be with anybody for just money. Do we get money for common law?
You introduced me to this lifestyle.
I mean, I'm so used to writing and laying on my fainting couch. I mean, what are you going to give me?
No, honey.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But listen, it's everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm looking for. And when I find the one, then,
Then maybe. But I think take your time. Take your time. I know you breathe really heavy. And just take your time and enjoy it and figure out the things that you like and you dislike or annoy you. Or I just feel like sometimes people rush for something that you get there and you're like, what's behind the couch? What was I rushing for? It's like, there's no reason to rush.
There's no rush.
Unless you want to have a baby or something. Even then, I wouldn't rush it. I was not married when I had a baby. We were together, but it just happened. And I was like, I'm okay with it. And I think a lot of people thought, because I see y'all in the comments sometimes.
You be like,
I'll be like, listen. That's what I want to say, but I'm like, hey, girl, all peace.
Sweetness.
Hey, sweet love, pretty thing. This is what I really want to say. It was not, people think I didn't get married for so long because of Nick. They were like, he ain't ever gonna marry her. He never gonna marry her. It's been 7 years or 6 years, whatever it's been. And I was like, that was my choice. Things were moving so quickly. We got together. I moved to LA. We got an apartment together. I got pregnant. I had a baby. And then I got pregnant, had a baby, we bought a house. Like, it was a lot happening. And I was like, this is all too much. Slow down. This is I know my limit. Again, like introvert. I know it's too much. It's too much. Let's just wait. We ain't rushing toward nothing. Like, this is enough. And so I remember I saw something like, oh, it's been long. That white man ain't marrying her. I said, child.
If y'all only
knew, like, again, like, I know what I got. I know what I'm offering.
Baby.
Okay? A lot. Okay? And so I'm just like, it wasn't that. And I think a lot of the times, especially women, we hop on each other a lot when somebody doesn't rush to the altar or they decide to do things a little differently because, and I'm like, I wanted to do it differently.
Yeah. No, and that's why you're happy.
Yeah.
And the beauty of your marriage is you talk about this publicly too. Like any other marriage, you have your ups and downs, but
Child, ain't nothing perfect. And
Baby.
nobody, I don't care what Instagram says on anybody's Instagram, how many pictures y'all take together. Okay. Life is life for everybody. And that is the truth, Ruth. Like, that is it. And if you know that, like, you can like the pictures, but that don't mean behind closed doors nothing is happening. You know what I mean? Like, we've been in therapy for 7 years since Ella was born. I got into therapy immediately.
Wow.
Oh, I was like, I'm going to give her as least bit of baggage as I can from us.
Good for you.
Yeah. So.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, look, I am the king of reality television.
You are.
And you do watch reality TV.
I do.
What is your favorite reality show?
Okay, so some of my favorite reality shows are, of course, I mean, I'm fed up with them now, but Love is Blind.
Yes.
I'm fed up.
Why are you fed up?
I am fed up. Because these people go on this show and know what it's about.
Oh.
And then they go to the outside world and they're like, I'm still thinking about Cheryl, though. And I'm like, and then they're like, wait a second. And then they're
people join for the wrong reasons now.
And I feel like a lot of people want to do it so they can get a podcast, so they can get a deal with something. They can go on Bravo. They can go on, you know, I feel like so they can come here. Like, I just feel like sometimes people do it for the beginning. It was like.
That's how it is on the entire genre of shows.
So people understand.
Reality TV now is a quick
buck,
a quick way to be famous. Nobody does it. Not a lot of people, not there's some people do it for the right reasons. But a large majority of people now, whether it's dating shows, docuseries, whatever, they join for the wrong reasons.
What is the right reasons?
Listen, it's okay to want to be famous.
Yeah.
It's okay to want to build a business. But there is an exchange of, it's a reality show.
So you're giving your life.
Give your life. Be real.
So I was like, I'm going on Housewives of Atlanta. I'm calling you. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
They just called me and asked me if I want to be on Housewives of Atlanta because I'm moving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And what would you tell me?
It's funny. A friend of mine 2 months ago called me. I'm not going to say what show it is.
Okay.
She said, hey. I said, what's up, girl? She said, I got a call to audition for this show.
Okay.
And I said, oh. She said, what do I need to know? Be prepared for?
Yeah.
And I said to her, you have to be yourself, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, there's nothing off limits. If you're in a relationship, you got to show the relationship. If you have kids, you got to show the kids. Like, if you want to be the best at this game,
you got to show yourself.
You got to show yourself because that's the only way people are going to resonate with you and follow you, support your business. She owns a business.
Yeah.
Support your business. Mm-hmm. And do everything else. But if they feel like you're hiding things from them.
You're like, Ella, get back there.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something.
Exactly. Yeah. I said you're gonna lose. Because if you're joining only for the fame and the money and to promote your business, you're not gonna get it. It's not gonna work for you. You're gonna be upset. You'll be mad at the producer.
Yeah.
You'll crash out on social media. You hate that people don't like you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened.
So you have to be a special human to go and show your life.
I couldn't do reality television myself. I'm too private.
Yeah, me too.
And that's why I look at my cast and
other
people as courageous people. To do that, no, that's
your life.
That's your life.
That's why I'm always like, whoa, like this is your life.
Yes.
And I'm like, get the big bucks, get the bags, please.
And the bag will come. I think in any job, if you give 100%, everything will work out for you.
Everything.
So you watch Love is Blind. That's your
Love is Blind, Housewives of Atlanta.
Are you watching this new season?
I have not. First of all, you know Shamia? You know Shamia, right? Obviously.
Of course I do.
I love her.
Love her now.
She used to be my stand-in for acting.
Shamia used to be TIKA Sumter stand-in.
Okay, that doesn't have to be the like calm down. She was always going on her path and always a star. And
meaning that's dope. That's
it's dope. Amazing. Dope. So she was a stand-in for me every time I would work in Atlanta, like for most of a lot. And she was always the kindest,
Yeah.
sweetest person. That's why I'm so happy that this is happening for her. And I remember she was singing and doing all the things, and she gave me I still have this gift she gave me as like a part, just saying thank you.
She's so sweet.
She's so sweet. What?
She's killing it this season.
Is she really?
You have to.
I saw like one episode. I got to see the rest.
Yes, it's a great season.
I'm like waiting to be by myself.
Yes, and then you, as you always do, you text me.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, it's good?
It's great.
Oh my God. I'm so happy.
It's greater than good.
Ooh. What makes a reality show greater than good?
The cast.
That does it.
A reality show lives or dies by its cast. You have to have the right cast who wants to do the work. That's it.
It's work.
It's work. I don't understand why reality television seems to be one of the only jobs in the world where it's okay to come in and give 10%. I just, and you should be okay with it. I'm here. Well, first of all, you're 2 hours late. Secondly, like you said, who's that girl in the car? That's my daughter.
Yay! Nobody. Put a star over her face. Look, I would be the worst. I would be the worst reality person.
At least you know that.
I know that.
I know. I would be a terrible reality star.
I come in.
Come in. Okay.
Where you been? Okay.
This is me and you on a reality show. Go ahead.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
How you been?
I mean, I've been better. You know.
Wait, act like I'm having problems with my husband too.
Okay.
And you kind of know about it, but don't.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's the setup.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, girl.
How are you?
I'm amazing.
Well, I've been reading some things online.
Reading where?
A few blogs.
From how?
Well, something came to my phone.
We're great.
And it said something along the lines of TIKA SUMPTER is going through a possible separation.
Oh, who said that?
You do watch Atlanta Housewives. Well, I heard it from the streets.
What street?
You would be amazing. 'Cause the fact that you deflected, you are good at. I'm actually gagging. I'm like, I have an answer for you. You would be a great reality star because the way you clocked in and deflected all of my questions, I'm like, what street? I don't know, Martin Luther King Drive.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. So are things good?
Things, marriages have its ups and downs, but we are together.
Well, I heard.
That's on that.
Well, they say he has a baby on the way from another woman, child, but you didn't hear it from me.
Oh, I heard it from you. Who'd you hear from?
Is this your audition tape?
I mean, yeah.
Tika, that was.
It's good.
You low-key read me.
I mean,
I feel read.
Do you?
Yeah, you read me.
I'm like a sweet read. It's Tika's sweet read.
You give me a little bit of
what?
It's funny. What you gave me is kind of Shamia.
Really?
That's how Shamia is.
Because she's sweet.
No, Shamia's sweet and Shamia clocks it.
She sees it.
Okay, watch.
I'm watching it all. I'm watching it when I go home.
Shamia is so funny.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. And so, first of all, everybody gagged when they went to her house. That's what you talk about quiet fire. She's like, oh. Child, when they showed that house, they were like, I love a person. You don't know what's going on with what. You open the door and you're like, Shamia? Huh? HVAC. He does HVAC.
You bastard.
He does HVAC for all the airports. Oh, yeah. Honey, I tried to tell them before this was out. On my threads, I was like, y'all, I'm telling y'all, HVAC, I'm redoing a place of mine now. And my electrician bill, I was like,
crazy.
For this? You making that?
Yes.
Amen. I went right on threads and I said, I was Kermit the Frog. I said,
that me?
Y'all better start going to HVAC and electrician school. I promise you. I'm like, they make money. Okay.
Well, we see that. She has a house that's a castle.
A castle and a husband who's quiet. I love
Yeah.
it.
Gerald's sweet.
Gerald's like, I don't want to be on this damn show. He's like, I'm good. I know you got to show me, but I'm good. I love it.
I want to see Gerald more, though.
I want them to keep their marriage.
Oh, no. Listen, I'm going to
But I like that Gerald's quiet.
Oh, I need him to be quiet. I'm going to tell you what, in a perfect world,
What?
I would love for Shamia to go home and be like, because she cooks for him. I watch her YouTube channel. She cooks for him.
Right.
And then she'll go to his office at the house.
Ooh.
And she has on like these Lululemon pants and whatever. And she'd be like, hey, baby. I would love her to be like, so, I was with the girls in Nashville. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and to see his point of view on like
And you
the
know what his
shenanigans.
point of view is going to be with the
What?
shenanigans? Okay. Are we done? Don't no man want to hear that shit. Like, no.
Pillow talk is a thing.
Pillow talk is a thing, but most, like, when I tell my dude, like, yo, why is this person acting crazy? And he goes through it with me psychologically. Like, he's really good. Like, he almost seems like a psychologist. And he'll be like, well, it's probably da-da-da. And then the conversation's over. There's no, like, girl.
No, of course. No.
But, like, I feel like he's going to be like.
I want Nick to say, girl.
No, but I think sometimes, like, I do like pillow talk, but I know when it's going to end. You know what I mean? Like, they're only going to go over it but so many times.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's going to be like, oh, that's sad.
Oops.
Okay, I got to get this airport contract. Okay.
You know what pays all this?
The airport contracts.
Uh-huh.
It's like, girl, I love him. I love him for that. I feel like his I feel like I love that energy where somebody doesn't have to speak in the room, but they're the loudest because you're like, who's that?
Mm-hmm.
God, they're the loudest because they're so quiet because you want to
Mm-hmm.
know what he got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
It's always the loudest. You're like, shut the hell up.
You do it too much.
Oh, you do it a lot.
Tika, thank you so much.
I love you.
for coming on my podcast. You know, I love you.
I love you too.
You mean the world to me, and you know that.
I do.
You really do. Okay. Is there any coming up you want the fans, the audience to know? We know the book, Get It From My Mama, that we're hoping can be turned into multiple books and other stuff that comes out of it.
Yeah. I got it from my mama.
I got it from my mama, sorry.
I was like, how do I nicely tell him? It's not, I get it. It's, I got it. Okay, that's done.
She'll be a great reality star. The way she clocked me and did it so subtly. Okay.
Yeah, I'm, you know, on the season finale of Watson, which I don't know when this airs, but I play Morris Chestnut's love interest, so that'll be fun. Survival of the Thickest is out now on Netflix. I play opposite Tone Bell, which is awesome, and yeah, I'm just and then I just finished a movie that I co-wrote called Sisters in Italy, and I'm starring and producing, and Tyler, you know, directed it. First thing he's ever directed that he didn't write, and so Brisha Webb is in it, and
I love Brisha Webb.
Yeah, I co-wrote it with Kimiando Catuno, and yeah, so it's. I'm excited. I just finished it in Italy, and we're excited for the world to see it on Amazon.
And I'm excited for all the things coming your way.
Oh my God. Thank you, Melody.
No, God is good.
God is good.
And this book is good. I got it from my mama.
Yes.
Make sure you guys pick this up, okay?
Yes.
Love you guys. Me and Tika about to go and like
have a drink?
Yeah, come on.
Because we do need to cut that.